Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back with a new video. Us versus them, old as dirt. Speaking of dirt, I just got in from doing a bit of gardening, and I just uploaded a video on the progress of my vermicompost pile and the worm tea I was able to produce from it. So if you get a chance, if you're into gardening and that kind of stuff, and if you just like seeing worms, check out that video. And even if you don't like seeing worms, it'd be cool if you check the video out just to see what some of the things that worms can do for you. But I want to do this video. I've been thinking about this video for some time, or at least thinking about the topic of this video for a good long time. I just got done watching a video by Doug Bass real early this morning, where it was called "Preppers and Patriots." Check out his channel. I'm always giving him a shout outs. He has a lot of good stuff on his channel, and it was about he was talking about the what is the difference between a patriot and a prepper, and he went into the how a lot of labels have been assigned to certain groups, and some may mislabel. Um, and it got me thinking about it got me thinking about the topic that I wanted to discuss in this video, the whole us versus them mentality. Now if you know me, at least from my videos or even in person, you recognize that I'm someone who tries to try to get along with everyone the best I can, and trying not to purposefully piss people off. Well, sometimes, but try not to try not to purposely make enemies. But that is impossible. Even Jesus Christ couldn't satisfy everybody because they had their own idea of they had their own plans in mind. So to think that you can make everybody happy is you know I think that's it's pointless. I think it's it's not going to end. It's not going to end well. I actually believe that if you haven't made enemies in this life, then you may be doing something wrong because there are people out there who I would say rightfully so are enemies of certain individuals, and that's what got me into this thought of us versus them. I believe really if you talk to a lot of people and being someone who loves history, I love reading about historical periods. I love seeing how groups interact with each other. I love studying people, and if you get into a lot of conversations with others, you can pretty much boil down a lot of people's opinions or a lot of people's stances on particular topics into two camps. Either they either they're they don't they might they either they're not maybe not into something, but they're not really concerned about other people who are doing it, and you have those who just can't help but meddle and get in the way of other individuals. And so basically I was able to really break down the whole us versus them argument into two camps, into two groups. Libertarians, and by libertarian I mean I'm talking about liberty-minded individuals, people who really want to live their life without interfering with other people's business, unless it's something that has to be done, like in terms of murder or theft, cheating, things like that. And there are those that I would call authoritarians, or I guess just the word authoritarians, people who just can't help but want to control everything around them, including other people. So let's say um, someone likes no let's talk about prohibition. That's a great example of the prohibition. When alcohol was illegal in this country, uh, you can have it could be separated into two camps. You can have someone who doesn't drink alcohol, but they didn't really care that other people were drinking it. Because they felt they believed that was their right. They had a right to consume, put what they want in their bodies, um, and they shouldn't be told otherwise. And then you have others. Then you have those on the other side. They were primarily teetotalers who then not only did not drink, but they thought it was a societal ill that they wanted to use the government in order to correct it. Well, we all know how that turned out. Alcohol never went away. It created it gave way to organized crime in this country, and then we had and National Firearms Act, which which is a big screw up, I believe. That came out of the end of Prohibition. But but yeah, you think about it. A lot of there are people who they they're those who want to stay out of other people's way, and there are those who just can't help but get in other people's way for whatever reason. Um, Whether they believe it's a like is a social justice, or they feel like they were being disrespected, or what have you, whatever reason someone can come up with. It's probably based on their on their feelings, a fleeting thing. And I think it's good that I think it's good for people to recognize that there are people like that. There though, and yet though, and the first thing at first is good to ask yourself: Are you which one do you fall under? Are you someone who wants to live his life, in relative peace with other people? You may have disagreements with others, but hey, agree to disagree. We'll see each other next time, or we'll part ways, and that's it because we have a difference of opinion. Or do you fall into the camp that your way is the only way, and you will do you do whatever it was in your power to enforce it on someone else, whether it be you using force or you're wanting the state to do it for you. Um, which you ask, so which camp do you fall under? And if you after you ask yourself that question and come to some sort of conclusion, then you gotta wonder what kind of people would you associate with, and what are your day to day affairs like? I mean, do you spend your days talking to people and seeing what ideas they have or what positions they stand on, and coming having I guess a lively debate, and they learn something, you learn something, you may come to an agreement or you may agree to disagree, and that's that. Or do you spend your day trying to figure out how can you control this person that's in your life, whether it be on your job or in relationships, in your family, your next door neighbor, or it's just someone you talk, it's just someone you encounter on a day to day basis. Do you spend your time thinking about how you can control others? You know, are you libertarian, liberty minded, or are you authoritarian, a control freak? And I've encountered um, many people from both camps, and the ones from the authoritarian camp, I try my best to stay away from them. And I had a few instances where they wonder, why I'm not really, no, I don't really associate with them. I said, well, it's because our fundamentals are different. Um, and I just, you could just I just recognize that things aren't gonna, they're not gonna mesh well when it's, I'm like this and you're like this, and so it's not gonna, there's not gonna be much of a connection. So now, in terms of societies, I believe you're gonna have people like that, and the question is, you know, which side do you believe should flourish? Do you believe the libertarians should flourish, or do you believe the authoritarians should flourish? Going back to that question, asking yourself, which camp do you fall under? What are the ramifications of being on either side? I recognize that being a person I am, when I get into some conversations, I come off as being maybe, I don't know, maybe a little kooky to some, but I just realize I don't want to spend my life trying to control everything that's around me. I'd rather just have a say on the things that are rightfully in my power, and everything else is not something I would get involved in unless it was something that actually called for me to get involved in, i.e. someone getting hurt, which using physical force may be necessary. Um, someone's cheating, or things like that, some stealing, things like stuff like that. But if they're not, but those things aren't occurring, then I just go about my business. Talk about 1911s and eat meatball sandwiches. um, So, but yeah, I think it's I don't think it's too far. I don't think it's too far fetched to believe that there truly is a us versus them. And and like I said, you can't spend your life trying to make everybody happy. You can't, because you're gonna wind up doing something wrong in the process. Because there are bad people out there. There are evil people out there. Why should you, do you? Is it really worth our time and energy and efforts to satisfy the whims of evil individuals? I don't think so. I think if anything, we should be working to do. We should be working against such individuals. And if it stirs the pot, oh well. Um, there's a quote I read online. Society is like a stew. If you don't stir it up once in a while, the scum rises to the top. And I think that happens out of not wanting to rock the boat sometimes, not wanting to question certain groups, not wanting to question certain groups' motives, not wanting to question some of the individuals' intentions. Um, us versus them. I truly believe that it's old. It goes back a long time. I believe there's been a lot of people throughout history who either wanted to just live their life in relative peace, and there are those who wanted to step their way into someone's life, whether it be with the stroke of a pen or the kick with a boot or the slash of a sword or what have you. And we have to ask ourselves first, which camp do we fall under? So please, if you're comfortable with sharing any stories, that may be related to this topic, I'd be interested in reading it, or you may have a video, I'd be interested in watching it. So please leave a comment, leave a video response. Um, Anybody who's new to my channel, I hope you enjoy this message, and please look at my older videos for good content, and please be on standby for new content on the way. And grab some complaints, send me a PM. Just please be respectful to everyone else who comments and watches these videos. I'm Edward Jones. Oh, I forgot to say the title first. Us versus them, old as dirt. I'm Edward Jones, and thanks for watching.